All right, welcome back to season 3 of Lock Talk. That's spanned over like 6 different years now. Same with Sterling. He's back. We have a new master's degree in science, Christian Payne, who's filling in for Jordan tonight because Jordan couldn't be here for what we call week 0 of college football. Yep, there's Christian.
Hey, Christian.
Hey, Christian. Say what's up. Hello.
Hey, I'm
Hello?
Christian. You want to know who I am. Big difference maker. I'm the least biased of all pickers possible. I was once someone who said Nick Young was going to be 6th man of the year when he was recruited to the Warriors. So I'm full of the best take. Call me Kendrick Perkins.
Our Lock Talk's Kendrick Perkins. Well, there's Christian. Hey, I can't believe you didn't bring up you have a master's degree.
Oh, of course. I mean, yeah, master's degree in kinesiology. You know,
There we go.
I know sports in and out. Yeah, I'm kind of that dude. Just got back from Europe. I wear rings, but, you know, then in the other room, I'm in my massage chair flexing for a second.
Yeah, there's
Still peaking my
Christian
life.
Payne. There's Christian Payne. Christian, where are you?
And side note there, if anyone didn't hear that, Christian did go to Europe this summer.
Yes, he did. He
Yep.
actually lived there
And
for like 3 months.
I'm currently at my mom's house on a little recovery. It's a little rehab arc, so we are back in the business now.
And where are you? What state?
We're in Nevada, man. Like we're like 3 hours outside of Phoenix, so I'll say I'm out of Vegas, but you know, what is value, man?
And how's work been for you lately?
Amazing, you know. Actually, speaking of which, Ben is in the minority here, quote unquote. Ben's actually.
I was gonna say, I don't think I am.
Employed. Let's get Ben around. The only person in this chat that's employed.
Yep.
Yeah, let's go.
As of right now.
That's
going
to change pretty quickly. That's a good segue because Sterling, I was going to say, since the last time we recorded, which was, I think, right after the Super Bowl, that's a new background, but it's not going to be a permanent background.
No, it's not, Benjamin. Moved here in a few months ago, but we're going back home up to Washington. So.
And why is that?
Like to your own house or what's up?
I haven't figured out living arrangements yet, but we're going back up north.
And why is that?
New job opportunity.
All right.
Amazing.
I'm sure everyone knows what that means. If people that listen to this know what that means, so good for you. Won't be unemployed for long. Christian also going to be in Phoenix, maybe potentially.
99% chance. Yeah.
There you go.
I had to bite the bullet, man. You know, but Phoenix is a great time. It seems like it has nice people. Lots of fun stuff to do in Scottsdale. A lot of really confused 35-year-old women. So, you know, I mean, all that we need out there. I mean, that's what it's
big into the 35-year-olds, eh?
You know, I think they could grow on me. I think it's a possibility. I'm still young, fresh. I need a little bit of a cougar to breathe that youth back into me.
I think we got to start a dating podcast with Christian rather than do sports. Just bring Christian on for his dating advice.
That'd be great.
I'm gonna puke my mouth. I will not be your guy. I promise you. Now, anyways, and Ben, what about yourself? You started a new job since the podcast had been on hiatus as well. You want to tell us?
I did. Yeah, I started a new job, and it's been great. Been a lot better, and it's been a lot of changes. I mean, I guess we haven't recorded since, like I said, like January or February. So, new job, still here. Still got my jerseys back here. But yeah, it's good time to be alive. You know, it's a good day. I think all 3 of us can attest to that. New things coming down. So
yeah. In other words, life is fantastic.
Life is fantastic. Shout out
Life
is
fantastic.
But we're all still here for the same reason. Good to talk some sports. It's week 0 in college football. Got a couple games. NFL's coming up. Fantasy draft's coming up. All kinds of things coming up. We're like 1 month away from the best time of the year. A month and a half, I guess, for me. 1 month for you guys because you guys are all college football and NFL. About a month and a half till the NHL starts up for me, which is when college football, NFL, and NHL, which is just incredible. But we're getting there. It's very exciting, and so let's kick it off. I know Christian's not the biggest college football guy in the world, but he will chime in with NFL stuff. But we got to do what we came here to do first, which is give picks for this upcoming week in college, week 0. There's only a couple of games. Sterling, is college football. It's by far the most bet thing for me, at least on what I've tracked on the action app. Like most action I put on is college football.
Yeah. As far as volume, most bets. Now, NFL is my best. College football, the most bets, and guess what? The worst success rate.
Yep, same here.
Return.
It's the worst success rate, but it's also the most fun to bet.
But I wouldn't trade it for a thing because it's all day Saturday, starts at 9 a.m., goes till 10 p.m. Love it.
So I just
we love Pac-12 after dark. Pac-12 after dark. Also,
I just lied twice. My most bet is NHL.
Dark.
Yes, facts. Pac-12 is dead. Pac-12 is dead. NHL is my most bet, and college football also was actually profitable for me last year, even though I went 97 and 107. So, never mind, we're okay. To start it off, I guess, Sterling, you want me to go first? Or you want to give your picks?
You go ahead, Benjamin.
All right. So to start it off, I guess we'll go with the first game I have here on tap is Nebraska at Northwestern. This at doesn't mean a thing because the game is in Dublin, across the pond. Northwestern, I have it plus 13.5. I think first game of the year in a completely different time zone. It's going to be a low scoring slugfest. I think it's probably going to be a close game. Northwestern doesn't score normally, but I don't think Nebraska is very good. So I have Northwestern keeping it within basically 2 touchdowns. Second pick I have is actually a teaser. College football teasers are, I think, my favorite thing to do. I have Charlotte plus 13.5 and over 53. These are 2 good offenses, and Charlotte's defense is not very good. They were one of the worst in the U.S. last year, but both have good offenses. Charlotte, actually, I don't mind on the money line. I may put us a small amount on them tomorrow because of their offense. But I think if you get plus 13.5 and over 53 with 2 good offenses, I think that's probably a good bet. I have UTEP plus 100. Their home opener versus a team that had, I believe, the same record as them as last year. Very, very similar. UNT, I bet against them a lot last year.
They're playing North Texas, correct?
Yes, we bet against them a lot.
I'm gonna ride with you on that one.
Yeah, I literally put in my notes. Texas. Yep, I said continue to bet against North Texas because I know we bet against them a lot last year. Some went well, some didn't.
And UTEP wasn't bad last year.
UTEP wasn't bad at all, and they're plus money, plus 100. But at home, I like them. I'll probably put a good chunk on that. I have Nevada minus 8.5. They play New Mexico State. New Mexico State has been terrible forever. It's at home. It's a touchdown and a field goal. That's all they need. Nevada's a decent program. They're nothing crazy, but New Mexico State's kind of an embarrassment. I think they won 1 or 2 games last year total. I like Nevada minus 8.5. And then lastly, I have Hawaii plus 9. They are at home. I think going to the island's always a disadvantage. They're playing Vanderbilt, who's just never been a good team. It's been forever since they were a decent team. I think they get that late night start. It starts at 7:30. I think Hawaii is going to be ready to roll. And I think just going to the island is a big disadvantage when you're playing away. So plus 9 Hawaii. That's all I got. Week 0, not a whole lot of games.
Yeah. And a little side note on that. Hawaii is 11-1 in their last 12 home openers against the spread. Now, last year, they did not cover the spread. They played UCLA. I remember week 0 last year. UCLA kicked their arse. Now
that's a tough start though. This is a little bit different. They're playing Vanderbilt.
And Vandy's the worst SEC team by far.
Yes, by far.
All right. Well, I'm going to go to my picks. Nebraska. I'm going to go against you here, Ben. And I got it just now. 20 minutes ago, it went down to minus 11.
Oh, there you go.
So I got it at 11 just 20 minutes
ago. We can both win.
Yeah. I think Scott Frost, they're turning the corner finally, and takes a few years. I don't like Northwestern. Nothing about them. Worst field in the Big Ten. Worst atmosphere in the Big Ten. I don't see how they're
playing in Dublin.
That's the only way. I know it is, but it's just I'm talking about recruiting and like future. Like
they do have a trash field. That field is trash.
Yeah, just as far as where the programs are at, I think Nebraska and Scott Frost are on the rise, and Northwestern hasn't done anything. But to your point, they do like to play scrappy. I think it's just so neutral that the better team's going to figure it out in the end, and it might be a blowout. Now, next game, UNLV against Idaho State. Give me UNLV. Idaho State's one of the worst teams in the Big Sky usually.
What's the line?
Idaho State fired their whole football coaching staff last year So give me a brand new coaching staff to not cover. It's minus 26.5 UNLV. Don't care. Give it to me all day long.
I might ride with you on that one.
Idaho State is not a good program, and I've been in. That's all I'll say. Got some friends there now. So Wyoming plus 14. Don't know why they're favored or getting 2 touchdowns here. They're not a bad team. They had a good year last year. They play every game low scoring, not the best offense, play defense, run the ball, run the clock. They like to chop it up in between the lines, and usually pretty low scoring games. I just don't see a blowout happening there. And then finally, Utah State against Connecticut.
You didn't cover like 28.5. Is that what it is? I saw
26.5 now.
26.5.
Utah State had a great year last year. Hopefully they ride that momentum in. I like that program a lot more than Connecticut. Or UConn's terrible. Year in and year out.
UConn's got momentum. They're coming off their first win in like 2 years last year, I think.
Yeah, that helps my point even more. So I'm going to trust that. And then I'm adding, what's the one I said I'm adding again?
UTEP.
I'm going to add that one in the card too.
I like it.
Maybe Hawaii as well.
Yeah, that's I would add Hawaii. I think Hawaii is the one I'm going to put the most money on. That and UTEP. I'm very confident in those two. I'll probably add one of those two to my card as well. I like the Wyoming one. I mean, most of the time that segment's going to take up 45 minutes itself, because I know we all usually pick like 15 different games. But there you go. Week 0, not a whole lot of games. But so good to be back for college football. Christian, you got anything you want to chime in on in college football, or you want to get to NFL?
We're straight to NFL. I have not paying attention. Honestly, I think the biggest travesty was my school, alma mater, Go Rams, having no football team. So we had to choose between UVA, who is literal Nazis, and then Virginia Tech, who I will not support Tech through my life. So I just didn't really fall into having it. And I wanted to support the Dogs, man. Love the Dogs. That championship, dirty. Go Dogs. But since then, they've just been actually embarrassing. So it's just
they have.
rough, man. It's rough.
Christian, how come VCU doesn't have football?
You're telling me. I think it's more so because like the city, how Richmond is laid out. Or like Richmond Spiders have a team. So U of R has a team. They're awful. But like I could not give you a good reason. They literally buy out portions of land, like property all over the city, just to not do anything to develop it because they just don't want it there. Like they spent $9 million on this, like $9 or $11 million on this one club that's kind of their kids. Granted, there's a lot of fights and like shootings there, but they bought it out to just have the building be vacant. And it's like they could have football, do so much other stuff. So I have no good idea.
All three of us went to colleges without football, I think, right?
Yeah.
Because we didn't have it there either. Yeah, basketball, same here. Obviously, Sterling basketball, no kidding. All right, well, let's move on to NFL. I guess right now we're going on Friday the 26th, last weekend of preseason. We'll start with fantasy because I know fantasy's coming up, so we'll get this out for people who want to listen to our awesome expertise on fantasy football. Let's go position by position. I guess give us kind of your top, I don't know, between 5 and 10 rankings.
I think the first thing we should talk about is Christian McCaffrey.
Okay.
That's the hot topic.
That is the hot topic.
The reward. Where's he going to go?
He's ranked 2 or 3 on most sites. I think mostly 2, right? He's ranked second on most. Let's debate him.
I mean, I guess I'll start. I mean, I'll just say the obvious question: is he going to be healthy? Can he prove to be healthy? And already in this preseason and during some of the practices, he sat out here and there just to be safe. But it's like I know Matt Rule typically is off with this whole injury thing, anyways. So the fact he's already sat out a couple times, kind of like, is he going to be good to go? And then when he does play, is he going to get hurt again? Because it seems like he's made of glass at this point. And I just don't have faith in him. I would not like him at 2. If he slides me at 5, I'd take him, but I'm not taking him 1 through 4. I think everyone else is more proven. Even if it's a PPR, I think you can take the risk, but I still myself, which I wouldn't do it. I just can't do it.
Sterling?
I have him at the same as Jonathan Taylor. I would love personally the number 2 spot. Because if I'm at 2 and even number 3, because I'd take Cooper Kupp up there as well. But if I get Jonathan Taylor or Christian McCaffrey, because the thing is, if he stays healthy and just plays 15 of the 17 games, he'll probably be, especially in a PPR league, RB1. He's that good. He blows away. Like when he plays a full season, he's 20 points above the next running back. So the reward is so high. If he could just stay healthy, that'd be huge. Now, I don't know how I feel about the Panthers. Baker Mayfield starting now as well.
It's an
Their
improvement.
offensive line has some questions. So I don't necessarily have the utmost confidence, but for me, I'd still take the risk versus reward there.
Do you think Christian McCaffrey is higher risk or higher reward?
Higher reward because he blows away every other running back when he's healthy.
But
Especially
if you draft him in the first round, and he only plays 5 games. You're not winning probably 5 fantasy games, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think his injuries weren't like career ending.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
So what are the odds he's getting injured every year of his career? I mean, if his body's that glass, I don't think he was injured in college, so it could be bad luck.
Yeah.
But I think the reward is so high, it's worth the risk.
So Sterling, you'd pick him at 2.
Just looking at the ESPN ranking, it has him at 4.
I'd pick him at 2. Yeah.
Christian, you wouldn't pick him at 2?
No. Like
Where
I said, ESPN ranking even itself, draft rank 4.
Where are you taking him earliest?
I'd say 4 or 5.
So give me your 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, 4 then.
Jonathan Taylor, Cooper Kupp, and then either Jettis or Derrick Henry, and then him. Just like Derrick Henry's only been hurt 1 year. I know he had a foot injury, but he's been looking good in camp. He's still cutting off that foot, which is the primary issue. I'd take him at 5.
I'm taking McCaffrey before Henry every time. I'm probably taking McCaffrey at 2. I had 1 in the only draft we've done, and then I have like 8, and then unknown and another, or 5 in another one. So I won't have a chance at him most likely again. But I probably would take him at 2. The only person I'd argue I think that you could take it to instead of him, I think, would be Cooper Kupp. I don't think I would take anyone else. I think it would be, if anything, I'd take Cooper Kupp and then McCaffrey at 3. But to each their own, and there's definitely risk with him because, like you said, if you get him at 3 and he plays the whole year, you have a very good shot at winning your fantasy. You're pretty much a lock for playoffs unless your whole team, you draft like an idiot the rest of the time. Now, if you draft him at 3 or 2 and he plays 5 games, you're probably missing the playoffs. Like unless Chuba Hubbard goes off and you pick him up on the waiver wire, I think you should definitely draft Chuba Hubbard if you draft McCaffrey. Same thing like drafting Dalvin Cook. You draft Madison later on. But I don't know. It's a high risk, high reward. I think that's but I agree with you, Sterling. I would take him at 2, I think.
See, it just sucks. I'm looking if you look at 2019, 15 touchdowns, 2020, 5 touchdowns, 2021, 1 touchdown. He has a potential, but that was 2-3 years ago.
Did he have 15 total touchdowns?
Yeah, that was
rushing. I bet he had receiving as well.
Yeah, he had a lot more receiving. So he's up there. It's just since 2019, he hasn't been like a significant factor.
No, yeah, because he's been hurt. So
it's
been
tough. Hurt the last 2 years.
Yeah, 2 years. 2 years in a row he's been hurt. All right, moving on from McCaffrey, I guess. Were there any other ones we want to debate before we go kind of position by position?
Kupp or Jefferson? Because I've seen a lot. They're kind of back to back.
Oh, I'm taking Kupp every time.
Kupp.
Yeah. Okay. There's no argument there. I'm taking.
You have Kirk Cousins, Matt Stafford. Matt Stafford had a surgery, and might take a step back, but regardless, they're the Super Bowl champs.
That being said, Justin Jefferson, I love too. Like that's no debate.
Oh, of course. No, it's not a knock on him. It's just.
But the guy just had the best receiving. Yes, that's the thing. Jefferson may end up having more yards this year. He may lead the league in receiving yards, but I don't think Kupp goes under 110 catches. Honestly, like they're going to feed him the football.
There's no way. There's no way.
The only way
PPR not taking it.
He gets hurt again.
Right. Yeah, I know. I think I think you have to take Kupp. If you draft a receiver before Kupp, I think that's a little bit crazy, especially after last year. Because, like I said in our chat, even if he regresses, he could regress, 150 yards, 10 catches, and 2 touchdowns, and still probably be receiver number 1. Like he's that good. And why would they change their system? and no one can guard him anyway. And they got Allen Robinson, so it's not like they have they lost. Yeah, they lost OBJ. They replaced him with Allen Robinson, who could also have a bounce back year as well.
Well,
so.
They still might get OBJ back too.
And they could get him back. I saw he commented on Stafford's wife's.
Yep, Kelly Stafford
Mm-hmm.
responded back, and then he responded to her, and that looks very friendly.
Yes,
very
it does.
But I'm also not going to say OBJ is going to be a game changer. I'm actually going to say after all
probably not
stuff. Like,
but I mean,
he's a great addition. But
if he's your wide receiver 3 or 4, you got good depth.
OBJ will be wide receiver 3 when he comes back. But the good part is it's the same knee he tore before,
right,
in Cleveland. And the doctor said when they first fixed it up, they didn't fix it the right way, so he was always kind of not 100%. Now this time they got the best care, and they're going to fix it up right, so he should be even more explosive when he comes back. That's what they said.
I'm so sorry. What doctor comes out and says your last one did not job? If you're in the NFL and your whole job is to stay healthy, how are you not going to get the best coverage possible?
That is tough. What the hell happened there?
Didn't fix it correctly.
Yeah,
that doesn't make any sense to me.
Was it a Cleveland doctor?
That's what I read. No, it could be propaganda. Could be fake news.
Could be collusion. Could be collusion by Deshaun Watson and the liberal media. That's what it could be.
I guess since we're on NFL, do we want to talk to Sean before we go position by position? Might as well talk to Sean Watson. Guy got an absolute bag after not playing a snap last year. Went 1 for 7 in his return in the preseason, and now suspended 12 games.
11, I thought.
11 what?
Games.
He's back week 12.
11 games. Sorry, he's back week 12. Yes, sorry, excuse me.
To play
versus
against
the Texans. Or versus the Browns, excuse me. Browns versus Texans.
Versus Texans, yeah. Because Goodell wants to sell tickets.
There's no way that was a coincidence. That wasn't an accident.
I have nothing. I despise this guy. I mean, I think he's a scumbag. I hear how right you are. Even if you want to break it down, I'm not going to say like he 100% did, although he 99% did. How are you going to have like a revolving door massage therapist? Like, and you need a special one from the team.
NDAs.
I think that already
NDAs.
Yeah, and then NDAs on top of it. I think already like that by itself is just enough to be like, all right, dude, like, what are you doing? And then the fact that the first judge's ruling said he's been guilty at least 4 counts. However, based on like no really previous precedent, we can't really do X amount of games, so I would give him 6. It's like he did it, and he hasn't really shown remorse. There's no been apology or anything like that. So it's kind of
I agree.
I think he should have gotten. I think he should have gotten an indefinite suspension, and then in terms of reinstatement, if he did like X amount of like courses, whether it be like on sexual harassment, apologized, actually apologize, is really covered instead of just something about be like, I don't think, like, basically like, I'm sorry you felt that way. Is what he kind of did. So
do you think time served had anything to do with it? Because he sat out last year, even though it wasn't like forced by the NFL, but he's still like, I wonder if Goodell was in his ear saying, don't play this. It doesn't seem likely because Goodell then went for the harsher punishment, but I also think Goodell had no choice. Like if he just let him off after however many accusations, it's a terrible look for the NFL.
Well, the thing last year is he demanded a trade.
Right. I'm just wondering if he had an NFL guy in his ear saying.
Right after he demanded the trade is when all the accusations came.
Right. So I don't know. It's interesting timing on all of it, but yeah, no, I don't know if that's just a joke. The real funny thing is he looked so bad in that one preseason game he played in. It was
that was hilarious. His first throw was like 10 yards over his
and like
head.
I get rust and all that, but he's still been practicing doing live scrimmages and things like that. And guys tear their ACL and come back a year later and he just looked terrible. But anyway, moving on from him, I don't think he's going to be a fancy impact anyway, so it doesn't matter. But sticking with that position, let's go. Who's your quarterback targets this year? Obviously, I don't think any of us reach for quarterbacks early in rounds, but still, give us your picks. Christian, you go first on quarterbacks. Who's your, I don't know, give us your top handful, however many, 5, 10, 7, whatever you want.
Top handful. I mean, of course, you have to go with Mahomes, which I really don't want to. Mahomes, Rodgers, Brady, because I mean the receiver. I have to hold up for a second. That receiving core of the Buccaneers is unreal. They're like wide receiver 7 to be wide receiver 2 on some teams. They're incredible right now. They're so deep. So I think definitely those three. And then of course Burrow, Herbert, those guys are going to be like some of your top 5. And after that,
I think you're forgetting a certain
another
person in
team.
there, Christian.
Don't say it. Do
No,
not say it because it's
no,
going
no,
to be
no. Bill's quarterback.
Josh
Oh,
Allen.
Josh Allen, of course.
There
Sorry,
you
Josh
go.
Allen.
And
I thought you
what
were about to say something else.
Mr.
No.
Unlimited?
I am so down on him.
Yeah,
Pause.
I'm bearish on him too. Bearish on him. Then you got one more, Lamar Jackson. He's going to be in that tweener tier where this is going to be his year where he's either elite or he's like pretty good. That's where I think with him.
There you go. Sterling. What about actually? Wait, Christian. What about Burrow? Where do you have Burrow? Burrow and Kyler Murray.
Murray, I'm down on. I think Murray is solidly like a tier. If you have all those guys like a top like tier 1 through 2 guys listed, Murray's going to be on tier 3. He's going to be a solid tier 3. Murray is fringe 2-1 as well as Burrow because Burrow doesn't have enough time. Herbert is as well as a solid tier 1-2. But that top 1 is going to be, of course, Brady, Rodgers, Mahomes, and then Josh Allen's going to be like tier 2-1 in that range as well.
Interesting. All right, Sterling.
Yeah, so I'm down on Mahomes and Rodgers this year. I think Mahomes is really going to feel some more pressure this year without Hill extending the defense, and that's going to make things tighter for Kelsey when you don't have that elite speed threat. I mean, he's got TikTok Juju in now, but that should help. But it's not going to be the same Chiefs offense, in my opinion, as well as the Packers and Aaron Rodgers. He's still going to put up efficient numbers, but as a fantasy option, I think Rodgers is going to be top 3, top 4. Like he's either 5 or top 10. I think, in my opinion, and I don't like drafting quarterbacks early, so I hope everyone drafts these guys 2nd, 3rd round. I think it's Josh Allen, number 1, just because he has that ability inside the 10 to run it in, where he gets 5 extra touchdowns a year. And then I think Herbert takes another leap this year. The guy's just unreal, and still has a great receiving core. The only issue there is their defense is really good this year. Might be in a little lower scoring games where they don't need to be in those shootouts. That's the only issue I have with Herbert. But as far as talent wise, he has everything. 2 great receivers. Mike Williams took another jump last year. So if he continues his pace, I think Herbert's going to be top 3 for sure because he's just that good. And then from there, I think Burrow takes another leap. I don't know if he's top 3. I think he takes another leap, though. I'm not high on Kyler Murray or Lamar Jackson. I just don't like the injury when you're running quarterback, and I don't think Kyler's going to run this year, but he's just so small. He
didn't even run last year.
No, he didn't. By the end of the year, he's done. Although in fantasy, it doesn't really matter. First 8 weeks are great. But last one, Hurts is a great option. I think he's going to have a lot more passing yards this year. It's just you go Devontae Smith, AJ Brown as your receivers, and then Goddard up the middle as well is a good option.
And even Quez at number 3 is not a bad. He's pretty decent.
That's not bad, yeah. And then adding AJ Brown, deep threat, big receiver, that is a nice target to throw to too. It opens up the offense. And then Hurts stays healthy, runs a lot too. Bigger quarterback. So
he's the running back.
He's a great option as well. And then Brady, of course, like Christian said, he'll put up great fantasy numbers as well. But 45 years old, I don't know about top 3 again. But every time you say that, they said that at 37, 38.
Yeah.
Everyone's wrong. So
you just can't bet against Brady. Like you can't. And I do like your addition there of Hurts. I honestly left him out on accident because his team is going to be good. I have us being first in the NFC East because Cowboys are always fraud. They might
be most improved in the NFL, honestly.
They might be. And I mean, although like we were looking at the Commander schedule, which is literally the most Le Mickey bubble schedule of all time, they're going to get bounced first round regardless. And I guarantee that game they have against Jaguars, they're going to lose because Carson Wentz, his kryptonite, among many other things, is the Jaguars. So they're going to just crumple. They make wild card cool. Whoever they go against is going to just fold them in half. So
agreed.
Ben? What about you, Ben?
I actually think Herbert's number one this year. I think Herbert might win NFL MVP. I might put some money on him, just because I think it's his third year. He's been unreal first 2 years. The Chargers, I think, are kind of a sleeper Super Bowl contender. I think we've talked about that a little bit.
Yeah.
Like Sterling said, they've improved their defense, so the shootouts may not be as much, but I still think they don't run the ball to Eckler a ton. They love throwing him the ball in the passing game. So I think Herbert's going to still throw 35 times a game, 30, 35 times a game. I have him as a potential MVP guy. So he's my number one here if he can stay healthy. And he's not afraid to run the ball either. He will run. He maybe doesn't run as much as Josh Allen does, but I mean, Josh Allen, they don't have a running back. I know they drafted, I think, Cook, but he's basically their running back there. But I think Herbert's number one. I think Josh Allen's probably a really close number two. I think this year, I know Sterling said he's down on Lamar. I really like Lamar this year. I think he's going to take that leap. I think he's going to be upset they missed playoffs last year and upset he missed games. He's always going to have that floor of running for 60, 70 yards a game, and then he's going to run for 100 sometimes. And I think his passing is going to improve. Yeah, go ahead.
Can you name two receivers?
Mark Andrews and
that's not a receiver. Can you name two receivers?
Isaiah Likely. Okay, but Isaiah Likely plays like a receiver. You have Mark Andrews and
those are two tight ends.
That's
Can
already two good
receivers. Those are two tight ends. Can you name two receivers?
They actually did draft. I think they drafted
one of them. What's his name?
I can't say.
But is Marquise Brown that big of a loss? I don't think Marquise was that good.
Look at his stats.
He was fast. He dropped half the balls thrown his way.
No.
He's not big of a loss.
Marquise Brown has receiving yards on the Ravens, and he didn't play that long. Then all of their receivers combined right now.
I'm looking up.
They don't have
drafted.
They have Rashad Bateman.
They just drafted some studs though. So
Rashad Bateman last year, who looks pretty good.
He looks pretty good. I think Mark Andrews you have to count as basically a receiver, though. No,
he's a tight end.
As Isaiah,
I love Mark Andrews. I love Mark Andrews, but I just think it's hard when all the attention is going to go to Mark Andrews. You don't have.
Yeah, they're gonna have to have some rookie stand-ups. Like that's no doubt. Yeah. That's no doubt. But I think the floor of Lamar with his running, I think the floor of Lamar running is huge. And I do think he's going to be better as a passer anyway to offset some of the misses in missing Marquise Brown. And I think his usage is going to be crazy. I think they're going to run him. I think they're going to do everything with him because their backfield's not very good either. Like,
they get J.K. Dobbins back.
The backfield's going to be pretty solid.
I don't love J.K. Dobbins. I don't love it.
I agree with you. His floor is low. His floor is high. Excuse me.
Yeah.
But I don't see the improvements on the offense that makes the ceiling higher.
I think mostly the improvements are going to be through him. I think he's going to be a better passer. I think because when he wasn't able to run or do anything last year. I think he probably worked on throwing, worked on accuracy. One of his big things, he's not accurate. But we'll see. I don't know. We'll see. I think Mark Andrews is unguardable. I think he's like a Travis Kelce light.
I think he's elite. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. So I think, even with that loss, why don't they go out and get like a Will Fuller or like a Cole Beasley? Like they should go and get one of those two.
They should, but no receiver wants to play in that offense.
I guess not.
Yeah.
But I mean, isn't it better than not playing at all?
That's true. I agree.
Because both those guys have no contracts.
Like as far as like free agents in the offseason, like
right,
especially with that offense they're running, it's not going to excel you to the next big contract.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I bet if the receivers struggle and they're struggling to get open within 2 weeks of the season, I bet Will Fuller goes there because he's kind of like a Marquise Brown burner type that can, and he had 10 touchdowns in like 11 games or 12 games a couple of years ago.
Isn't Will Fuller suspended right now? I think he's suspended, or is he?
I think no, he served it last year.
It's one of those two. It's always one he's suspended or hurt, and
I think he's okay to play now. I think he served the suspension and then just got hurt right away last year.
Let me check on Will Fuller.
Yeah, while you do that, keep going. And then I have Mahomes at 4. I have Hurts at 5, Burrow at 6. And then I kind of dropped probably Tom Brady at 7, which he'll probably, like you said, end up being top 3. Probably Rodgers and Stafford after that. I'm pretty low on Russell this year just because we've watched him in the Seahawks offense.
Here's the great part is, especially like in a 10-man league, you don't have to draft a quarterback early because the gap between 3 to 10, I mean,
very close.
Wilson and Stafford are at 10. you're not getting a huge upgrade if you're drafting early there. That's what about right now.
I think
There's a
there's
lot of quarterbacks that are going to put up fantasy numbers.
I think there's like a tier 1, which is 1, 2, 3, which I would say is Allen or Herbert, Allen, and either Lamar or Mahomes, one of those two. The next one, Lamar or Mahomes, probably Burrow, Hurts, probably touches that second tier, and then you're probably Brady's probably tier 3, but could be tier 1.
Still in the second tier.
He could be in the second tier, and I think and then I think probably Dak, or I think Burrow's probably above that. I said, and then Dak, Russ.
Tier 4.
And
get them out of here. Get them out of here. Tier 4.
But like, so just Sterling's point, I think it's a good late.
Be honest though,
investment.
would you be confident with Dak Prescott this year?
No, but I wouldn't be. I would rather have Dak over like Trey Lance, which I know people are taking. Some guys are taking him early. Some people have Lance.
I would never. First off, I would never bet someone else benched beyond Jimmy G. that's the only thing I'll say. I don't care if it's development. I'm not trusting you out the gate. Like, I'm sorry. But you can't Dak versus those bench beyond Jimmy fucking Garoppolo. Like that's not happening.
I agree. No, I agree. Anyway, all right, we got to move on because we're going to take forever at each position. That's my fault. I took forever. Christian, go ahead. Start talking running backs. And Sterling, I'll be right back. You guys go.
I've already kind of said my top. I'm going to have Jonathan Taylor, Derrick Henry, and then CMC, Joe Mixon. And then after that, you're either going to get Najee Harris or Dalvin Cook. Kind of my top. Honestly, outside of that, I'm having a really hard time saying that any of them are going to be premier running back ones. There's going to be like a few, of course, but
I like that. Mixon up there, revamped O-line. Yeah.
I mean, but like, I think like those 6, like you'll be fine taking those first round. Otherwise, I'm not high on any running backs like at all because most teams in the league right now do running back by committee. Kamara, I wouldn't really take. Like, if it's a 10-man league, I'm not taking first round. I'll take him second round. Like I'll take him like pick 12 if it's a 10-man league, but I'm not going to take him first overall. Like even pick 12 is kind of a reach because it's really deep, but there's not many solid bell cow running backs that warrant that high of a pick anymore. So I'll think about those 6. What about you, Sterling?
Yeah, I like that. But for me, it's more especially it depends what league you're in. If you're a PPR, I think
consider PPR. I guess we should probably note that we're talking PPR because I think 90% of people probably do PPR nowadays, right?
Yeah, it's shifted a lot to PPR. Especially if it's PPR, McCaffrey is up there 1-2 for me. I think I'd still choose Taylor just because the assurance that he's, a bell cow, he's not going to get hurt. But if I knew McCaffrey was going to stay healthy, I would take McCaffrey, PPR.
Yeah.
And then running back wise, Dalvin Cook, Derrick Henry in that next tier. I think Mixon has a great year getting Lael Collins, revamped O-line. They kept everyone. There's Burrow is going to be in his third year. It's going to open up a lot because they're going to respect Burrow a lot more this year, which I think is going to help Mixon too, especially like I said, with the revamped O-line. I think he's going to have a big year. I like Henry. He always puts up his numbers. It just the foot injury scares me because he's so big. That's a lot of weight, foot injury. Little bit cautious there, but if he falls, of course, taking him. Later rounds, I like ETN. Later rounds, if you're looking for a sleeper, Jacksonville spent a lot of money this offseason on their offense, and that's going to be a priority for them. Catches passes, can run, capable runner. And then
they got Christian Kirk. Brother.
Yeah.
What is he, the 5th highest paid receiver? 8th?
I think Trevor Lawrence is going to be a lot better this year.
Yes.
I mean, because everybody's not out there kicking kickers. So, I mean, yeah.
Yeah. And then another one that's falling a little bit. I think he's in the 40s now, 40s, 50s. J.K. Dobbins on the Ravens. Hurt last year. Looked great last year. He was going early last year in fantasy. And people are just he's fallen a little further than he did last year. So I like J.K. a lot.
I don't want to cut you off, but we are all forgetting someone that I think is going to be solid, at least tier
Eckler.
2 possibly French T1.
Yeah, there's
two of them. Yeah, Eckler and Swift. Both.
I like Swift. I like Swift a lot. I was gonna bring that up.
Actually, I'm sorry. My first round, I like those 6 guys. I want to put Eckler in there because I think even one of my lists, Eckler at like 6. I like Eckler a lot. So yeah, honestly, have all those guys tier 1. Your typical bell cow running back ones. Any of those guys, you get them.
I haven't talked about this guy yet, but I think you maybe mentioned him, Najee Harris without Big Ben.
Yes.
I think Big Ben was like and I'm not saying it's going to be a huge increase with Mitch or Kenny Pickett, but I'm just talking about the style of offense. Najee Harris caught so many passes. He runs hard, gets extra yards. He's going to get more touchdowns this year, second year of the league. And the style of offense, they're not going to be shotgun everything where Big Ben just turns and hands slowly old last year.
And the Steelers,
it's hard to run like that.
The Steelers, like, they don't fire coaches. They don't run. They don't do committee backfields. It's always one guy. Always one guy.
So Najee, especially coming into his second year, that's what the other guy I forgot to mention. Mm-hmm. Love Eckler too. Love those guys, but I think Najee has a lot of potential this year too. Mid first round.
I take him over Mixon.
No.
I'm high on Mixon too. I think Mixon's got a brand new offensive line, upgraded in every area.
He doesn't catch a lot of passes. That's the only thing I don't like.
He's a capable catcher though.
He is, but they don't throw to him.
Yeah, but their backup is what's his name? Pirine? What was their backup?
No, it was Bernard Pirine.
34.
I don't know who it is now.
Not Giovanni. It's number 34. Can't remember his name.
They
like only one back too. That was my point.
Yes, they do. Let me look up while you do that. Bengals RB depth chart. I actually am curious. Who is it? Pirine's one of them, or did Pirine leave?
I'm not sure.
No, it is Pirine. Pirine and Chris Evans.
Yeah, and they do not give Pirine touches unless you're in the Super Bowl on third down twice.
Right.
Thank God. But
genius, absolute genius. Yeah.
I'm high on Mixon and Najee Harris mid first round. If you get them there, that's great. Not as high on Kamara, like you said too, Christian. Losing Teron Armstead, one of the best left tackles in the league.
Yeah.
A lot of running is your offensive line.
Kamara could also get suspended.
He's not going to. No, I don't think he's going to this year.
He's not. No, I heard he's not. Yeah, I heard he's not.
I guess, but that he's got to be at some point though. He beat the piss out of somebody.
Yeah, but it's not gonna happen this year because they
not this year.
Where they kick the can down the road with the court case, then they get taken. It's not happening. At least with regards to fantasy, no.
I still don't love him. Like you said, lost his best offensive lineman, and then also Jameis Winston's not Drew Brees. They don't throw the screens. They don't throw the checkdowns like they used to.
Jameis is a gunslinger.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, he's a gunslinger, and I mean, name again like a whole thing of running is can you stack the box to get away with it? And so I mean, you can't against them, but. They have Michael Thomas, who we don't really know. He hasn't played in like 2 years.
Oh boy.
And then Chris Olave, right? Is that their
Olave?
I love
Olave this year.
He's nice.
But regardless, I mean,
Winston puts up fantasy numbers.
Yes.
Yeah, he puts up fantasy numbers. But I mean, so I'd take him second round. Like I would definitely take him second round. But first round, you have those.
If you draft a receiver first round, he's not a bad second round pick. And I guess if he's not going to get suspended, then he's definitely not a bad pick. But yeah, no, there's other guys I'm targeting before him. I will give my rank because I want to go through who we're really down on this year because I think we probably have some guys we don't like. Jonathan Taylor first for sure. As I said before, I like McCaffrey. I like Eckler third running back overall. I think Henry's probably fourth. I like Najee fifth. I like Mixon probably sixth. I like it. Probably Swift is in there. It's between 6 and 7 as well. I think there's a lot of similarities between Najee Harris, Joe Mixon, and Swift. I think Swift probably has the highest ceiling, but I also think he's injury prone, so he probably has the lowest floor as well.
What about Cook?
Cook's probably in that range as well. I like Dalvin Cook, but he always misses at least 3 games or 2 to 4 games. Like if you draft Cook, just draft Madison, you'll be fine. Then you're fine.
I think Swift compared to Najee as far as ceiling I'd go to your point, Ben, Najee, because he's going to get more touches. Jamal Williams is a good backup in Detroit.
He is a great backup in Detroit.
I picked him up for a couple games or for a few games. He was doing work for a little bit. He was getting just as many touches as DeAndre for like 4 or 5 games, getting just as many touches.
Yeah.
And also wait, they have that third running back who was for a time getting just as many touches too. I forget his name though. I don't know his name. Reynolds. He is deep season. You're scrambling for running back. Wherever wire that guy. That was
him. And I like McKissick too. If you draft him late and just keep him in a PPR league, I like McKissick a lot.
McKissick's good because especially Wentz doesn't know left from right, so always an outlet solid.
And I think like late round guys, I don't mind. I think this is not really late round, but I guess beyond first round, Javonte Williams, I think is going to take over that backfield in Denver. I do like James Conner now that Chase Edmonds is gone, even with the touchdown regression. Breece Hall is probably a fine pick. I wouldn't pick him early, but he's probably going to take over that backfield at some point.
Christian loves him.
And Cam Akers, I really like, which Sterling will like to hear as the Rams guy, but I really like Cam Akers. Maybe he may struggle, but he may be slower to start, but I think, come the end of the season when he's really back and playing, I really like him.
Well, the thing is too with him is he came back way early from an injury last year.
But guy's an absolute animal too.
He wasn't ready
to come back that fast. But still, the fact that he came back that fast is crazy.
This year he's going to be 100%. He's got like 78% when he came. This year he's 100%, and when he was 100% his rookie year, at the end of the year, he was a dog.
Oh my God, he was crazy. I think I'll go through guys that I don't like, and I think we're probably going to agree. Starting with Zeke, I don't think any of us would probably touch him with a 10-foot pole in fantasy. I don't like him at all.
I think last year I just ended up dropping him. I was just so distraught. It was like week 4, and I was so pissed. I was like, whoever wants to take him. I just dropped him. I was livid.
I don't like Nick Chubb. That third string came in and played really well last year. They still have Kareem Hunt. I don't like Nick Chubb at all. He doesn't catch passes. I don't like Aaron Jones. I know none of us like Aaron Jones. I think that's backfield's probably a 50-50 split. And I don't really like David Montgomery this year either in the Bears offense because same thing. Khalil Herbert came in last year and played really, really well. And the Bears' O-line is trash. And I don't trust Justin Fields.
So 2 then on this actually. Saquon, number 1, 2, Fournette. Because they're kind of in that fringe tier where you don't really know.
I like Fournette. I don't like him enough to pick him early, but I don't mind him as a second running back. Saquon, I just have no idea. I have no idea.
I would choose Saquon above Fournette if it were me.
I don't know.
I wouldn't. I take Fournette first.
Here's why though, because the second Brady gets down in a game, they do not run the ball. He's throwing 45 times that game. That's the only thing.
Okay. So, but think with the Giants, they have Danny Dimes. Terrible. He needs to be out. He needs to be like a third string. 2. Name one receiver on their team. I think Sterling Shepard came back.
Galladay,
Kadarius Toney, and is Sterling Shepard still there?
I have no idea.
Yeah, he just got reactivated.
Is Evan Ingram still there?
No.
He's bad.
So, all right, cool. How are they getting the ball? You can stack the box against the Giants offense every single play, and nothing bad will happen to you. Maybe play one high safety. I promise you, nothing bad is going to happen to you with Danny Dimes under center. Saquon cannot. Like, I don't even. Their line's pretty bad too. Line's bad. Danny Dimes, he was shot out of a cannon in the sun. They are terrible. I would be so bearish. If you pick Saquon in like a 3rd, 4th round, I'll spit in your face. That is the worst thing you can do. I would take him 6th round at most. At most. Be a terrible running back too. I wouldn't put him as a fucking flex. Pardon my friend.
You're allowed to swear. You're fine. I agree, Christian. Fuck him. All right, moving on to receivers. Otherwise, we're going to be here all night.
It's not a testament to his skill. It's his team around him. That's terrible.
Yes.
There we go.
Yes. And also injuries. And receivers. Sterling, you go first on this one. Give us your ranks, which I think I know who's number 1.
Kupp, Jefferson, Jamar Chase. Those are my top 3. Those are the ones that I want in the first round. That's it, really.
Do any of us have a different top 3? Do any of us have a different top 3 than those? 'Cause that's my top 3.
No. I mean, maybe if you really want to get crazy, you could slip in like Devontae Adams if you're really high on him and Derek
I like him
Carr,
at 4.
but like I don't like him. Like, yeah.
No,
Like
yeah,
4th, and
Devontae
then
for sure 4 as well.
and then the Stephon Diggs probably like that's who I'd take him.
Yeah, but confidently in the first round, those are the only 3 I'm taking. Confidently.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. I think you have good enough running backs there. I think those are probably the only 3 I take in the first round. Maybe Diggs if you're at the end. I think we're probably on the same page. Deebo Samuel is probably in there early second round. Especially with his usage as running back too. He's kind of a nasty mix.
I don't think so. The whole issue with his whole like holdout this season was because he doesn't want to be a running back anymore. He's like, look, I'm not doing it.
He came out and said that wasn't true. He came out at a press conference and said that wasn't true. That wasn't part of the reason.
We'll see.
Maybe he's lying. Maybe he's lying.
I feel like look at how much he wanted for money and see how much receivers are making what he's doing. I think you can say like Russ says, I want to retire in Seattle. I think that's just cap. He just like not.
No. Russ says Broncos country. Let's ride.
Debo is 100%. Well, he meant it because why would you run the ball and higher risk to ruin your career?
I think now that he got the bag, though, they paid him. I think he's going to do it. I don't think he's going to have a choice. I think they're going to have to rely on him this year because something about the 49ers running backs is they all get hurt.
Davis Price from LSU.
Doesn't even matter. Something about the 49ers running backs every year, every single one of them gets hurt. Every single year.
Well, that's true. That's a good point.
Every single one of them gets hurt.
Mostert is probably already outside of the emergency room right now, knocking.
Mostert's in Miami. So.
Oh wait, really?
He's on the
Dolphins.
Yeah,
Miami has 5
starting running backs. Gaskin, Mostert, Sony Michel, Chase Edmonds, and Ahmed.
Jesus Christ. Well, who's 49ers running backs? The top 2. I know
Elijah Mitchell,
Sermon, Davis Price, and I don't even know.
Sermon. The guy they drafted last year.
Sermon. I heard that Trey Sermon looks good in practice today. Yesterday too.
There you go. They're going to need
all. Not that I care. I don't trust those guys.
They all hurt. I mean, they all get hurt.
I trust none of them.
I bet you Deebo Samuel gets at least 4 carries a game.
Mitchell, late round.
And Elijah Mitchell, when he plays, he's good. Honestly, when any of the 49ers running backs play, they're all good. They just all get hurt.
Yeah.
But continue on receivers. CeeDee Lamb, I think, is up there. Mike Evans, as always. Tyreek Hill is still probably up there, even in a new offense. T. Higgins, I like a lot. Pittman, I like.
I am bearish. I'm bearish on Tyreek Hill. I don't trust Tua. I do not trust Tua. I'm sorry. I don't
either, but you don't think
he's a great guy, nice dude, but
who? Tyreek?
No.
Or Tua?
No, I don't think so. I'm sorry.
T. Higgins as well just doesn't have the it factor to me. He looks like a great complimentary piece. As far as fantasy, he doesn't look like
I would honestly rather.
Oh, I like T. Higgins a lot because they're going to cover. They're going to cover Jamar.
Take Keenan Allen. I'd rather take Keenan Allen and Mike Williams both over T. Higgins.
I don't like Mike Williams over T. Higgins.
I would as well, Christian.
Mike Williams to me is too boom or bust every week, where I think T. Higgins is going to be open a lot. Mike Williams will have some crazy weeks and he'll have some weeks. He's just inconsistent where he has 2 catches. I think T. Higgins is going to be open a ton because I think they're going to really shade him. He was open a ton last year and guys weren't, and they were guarding him like a number 1 for a while. I think he's going to be more open this year with Chase being covered more. And I think that offense is going to throw more as they, like you said, they've improved their offensive line.
Yeah, they'll throw more, but I still think Mike Williams and Keenan Allen over.
Keenan Allen's fine over him. I don't mind that at all. I don't mind. I'd probably take Keenan Allen. I wouldn't take Mike Williams.
I feel like for that argument with that you're making for the Bengals receivers, you can make the same thing with the Chargers receivers. So they're going to double Keenan, so the Mike Williams is about to be going crazy. Which
I don't think.
I
don't think they double Keenan like they do Jamar Chase. I think Jamar Chase is on a different level with Keenan.
Well, he's had 1 year in the league, so we don't know.
Right, but he might have more yards than Keenan ever had 1 year too in his first year.
Yeah, but
we'll see. I would take. I think Higgins is a wide receiver 1 on a lot of teams. I think Higgins is really good.
No, I disagree.
I don't know. He had a really
good
eye
test. I mean, what looks special about him?
His stats.
No, they're not special.
His stats are on. All right, you guys talk about it. I'm gonna pull up his stats.
This is not special. He's great piece. Great piece. He's not like
That's
watch
not
the game,
eye test
dude, it's
though.
not-
For
if
eye
you don't
test,
watch
it's like
you don't watch T
that
Higgins and go,
intangibles.
wow.
I like T
Like-
Higgins a lot. Rookie year had 908 yards. With that is without Jamar, 6 touchdowns, and with Jamar last year, missed a couple games, had just 9 yards under 1100, and again 6 touchdowns. I like T Higgins a lot.
Yeah, I think
As a second receiver, you don't want him as your first receiver, obviously, in
Right.
fantasy. No, of course.
Right.
No. I'm not arguing against the first
like
receiver.
if there's gonna be a breakout receiver, it's Jamar Chase. It's not gonna be T Higgins. He's gonna put up good numbers, but it's not.
Oh
gonna be like,
yeah, no. This is just as a second receiver in fantasy.
Yeah,
Sorry,
yeah,
I'm not
yeah,
trying to
yeah,
argue as a
yeah.
receiver one. Yeah, no. Guys I like late. I like even though I just talk shit on Marquise Brown. I do like Marquise Brown later on as like a flex or as a good receiver, especially while Hopkins is out.
Hopkins is suspended. Yeah.
I like Allen Robinson with an actual real quarterback now. And I do like Juju in Kansas City's offense.
I don't.
Yeah, he's gonna
I
have a
don't.
lot. He's gonna have a lot of
I don't.
targets.
A lot of volume. Volume's king in fantasy.
I personally just don't think Juju got that juice like that though. I don't think he's gonna do much with targets.
But who does he have besides Kelsey as competition with targets?
Market whoever the other hyphenated names are, they have like 30
More?
Hyphenated names.
Sky
All
Moore?
right, let's move to tight ends. I'll start. I go Kelsey and Andrews almost even. Probably Kelsey still number one. Andrews is pretty much right there. Then I go Pitts, Waller, Kittle, Schultz, Goddard, Hawkinson.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, but Titans like the top three, it doesn't really matter. Like, because your waiver wire, you're like outside of your waiver wire, like regardless, and it doesn't matter.
I did have
like
Waller
Pitts,
over
he's
Kittle.
amazing,
I
no
thought I was needing
touchdowns.
some arguments on that. I have Waller at 4, Kittle at 5. We're in agreement.
I mean-
no, that's fine. Kittle gets hurt. Kittle's hurt 2 years in a row.
Yeah.
I mean, geez.
And it's mostly Trey Lance. I don't think he's going to throw the ball 20 times a
He's
game.
getting older too, and Waller's on the come up. I mean, yeah, it's valid. Also, I do want to say my one issue is with Pitts. He has Julio Jones syndrome. He will get you yards and rack it up, but that dude does not get touched. He's allergic to touchdowns.
Well, he's had 1 year in the NFL.
It's only been 1 year. I think he's going to be. He was unreal
so you
last
think-
year. Still,
So you think with Marcus Mariota, it's going to be better than with Matt Flynn?
I
Or
think
no,
Marcus
Matt
Mariota is
Ryan.
not a
Sorry,
bad
Matt
starting
Ryan.
quarterback. He's not a good one, but between him and Ryan, I don't think it's going to be a huge drop off. Plus, they
And
have no
Delaney
Calvin
Walker
Ridley,
on
and
the-
he's going to improve. Laney Walker.
Yeah, but Mariota was on the Titans.
Oh,
he didn't
yeah,
have bad seasons.
No, he was quite good. I don't
Yeah.
mind Mariota, and I also don't mind who's the backup that might play this year. The young guy.
Henry? No, not Henry.
No, what's
his
the
name?
guy's backup? The backup quarterback. He's the young guy. I don't know. Why I can't remember this.
Ritter?
For Falcons.
Yes, Ritter.
No,
Ritter.
he's
Yeah.
not playing. He's not
No,
playing. He's not.
I don't mind him. I think if Mariota struggles
No,
and they're out of the
he's not
playoffs late
playing.
in the season, I think he will play, and I don't think he's that bad. I don't mind him.
Yeah, but at that point, fantasy's already over. But he's not playing this year. There's no way.
You don't think if Mariota struggles, they won't try and get the second year guy snaps?
No.
I
Because Falcons
disagree.
have nothing to play for right now.
First year. Is he first year? Is he a rookie this year?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
He's had a pretty decent preseason. Not that matters. All right, cool. Let's go to kickers. Just kidding. We're not doing kickers.
No.
No, we're not doing kickers. I'm kidding.
No.
All right, let's finish
Matt
off
Araiza.
with
Best kicker in the league. This guy kicked his
I
career
don't
down
think
a
he
fucking
will
drain.
play a single snap in the NFL.
Best punter in the league.
No,
He's
that
a
story is
pedophile punter.
disgusting.
Great
That
guy.
guy is disgusting. A
guy.
17-year-old is
Great
disgusting.
guy.
Next.
Next,
Yeah,
next, we're
next.
gonna finish off. We'll finish off. We'll go division by division, just ranking who we think 1 through 4 in each division. We'll start with AFC North: Baltimore, Bengals, Cleveland, Steelers. Christian, what do you got?
I'm gonna go Bengals, Ravens, Steelers, and then Browns.
100%. I completely agree. Sterling.
I don't have any objection there.
Yeah.
I think the Browns without Deshaun are trash. I think they're terrible.
And even with Deshaun, hopefully they suck because
If he gets back to form, they won't. But if he plays like he does in the preseason, yeah. AFC East: Bills, Dolphins, Pats, Jets. I feel like this one's pretty easy. I go Bills, Patriots, Dolphins, Jets.
Honestly,
I go Dolphins.
Dolphins. Yep, Dolphins too. I
Too.
picked it. It was not amazing, but their defense is good. And I'm low on Mac Jones. I'm very.
I can see both the
think,
Dolphins and Pats finishing 10-7.
I don't see Pats finishing 10-7 in the AFC. The AFC is so stacked, and their roster sucks.
Yeah, they did it last year.
At least for a couple of years.
Yeah,
they did it last year.
We've seen like all the free agents and all the trades went to the AFC this year. AFC and the NFC are not close right now.
Here's
So
the thing, though.
roster-
I don't bet against Bill Belichick. It's been proven to be
Why?
a bad decision before.
What's special to be since Brady left? What's special about Belichick?
They were not supposed to be good last year, and they made the playoffs.
Yeah, well, the AFC was still down.
We'll see. I think they win 10. I think they win 10 games. I think the Dolphins also probably get close to 10 games.
No,
It all depends on.
Hold on. You think the Patriots are winning 10 games this year?
Yeah.
You want to bet?
Sure.
$20.
All right, there you go.
Yep.
I think they win 10 games.
Right.
I think the Dolphins. Yeah, write it down. I think the Dolphins probably win 10 games as well. It all depends on it. The two main things both those teams depend on is how good is Tua this year and how good is Mac Jones. That's what it depends on.
I think Tua is going to have a big jump.
I don't believe Tua. I
don't
love
Jalen
Tua.
Waddle already, and then the tight end. What's the tight end? What's his name?
Gesicki.
The thing is though, and probably what helped Patrick Mahomes so much, even if you don't have the best arm, you still have to respect Hill's off the top speed. That's going to expand the secondary.
And Waddle's
he was really accurate in the middle and short game. So as long as that's expanded, where you have to respect Tyreek, I think he's going to have a good year.
I still think even with their 5 running backs, they don't have a running game though.
Their offensive line last year was bottom 2.
It was terrible. I don't think it got better.
Well, they got Armstead. Dude, they got Armstead. That's why.
They got one tackle.
A lot of optimism.
He's a left tackle?
Left tackle can change your whole line.
Just run a sweep left every play.
Well, there's a lot of things. I mean, the left tackle is the most important by far.
Two is a lefty though, right? So it's not his blind side.
Yeah, but I mean, just having Armstead there though with experience and
definitely helps. Oh, definitely.
It's better.
AFC South. I think this one's a toss up at the front. I think probably Colts, Titans, and then 2 shitty. I think Jags will be better, and I think the Texans will be in last in that division.
Yeah, Texans.
I'd have honestly Texans at 3 because Davis Mills looks better than Trevor Lawrence right now. And then Colts, and sorry, I'm blank. It's Colts and Titans.
Who do you have one?
Colts.
Probably Colts. I
think Titans probably make playoffs again though too.
They were the ones last year, the Titans.
I think that's going to be different this year.
I'm so low on them, and they even lost AJ Brown, even though Tannehill couldn't even get it to him. But like, I just don't.
Carson Wentz, Matt Ryan. That's the big improvement. Even though Matt Ryan's aging, I think Matt Ryan is another level.
Just not having Carson Wentz on the field is a bonus.
It's just, exactly. AFC West, awful. Broncos, Chiefs, Raiders, Chargers. This division is.
This is one of my favorite.
Stacked.
I'm looking here. I'm looking forward to.
Yes, I know you love watching Mr. Unlimited.
I'm gonna hurt myself.
You have Mr. Unlimited and Jackson Mahomes in the same division.
Don't tease me. Do not tempt me and tease me.
Christian's favorite NFL player's brother, Jackson Mahomes.
Does anyone want to get dinner with the AFC West tonight?
Are you going to go on the field and do TikToks with them before games?
Yes, I'm going to dance on people's memorials. That's my goal this week. The opening game, I'm going to do it. So
oh, my God.
When I have to Ring of Honor, I'm going to be like.
Oh, boy. Sterling, you lead us off with this one.
All right. I actually have the Chargers winning the division this year. Couple of reasons. Again, like we already said earlier, I think their defense is really improved. Khalil Mack is not what he used to be, but when you have Khalil Mack on one side and Bosa on the other side, Sebastian Joe in the middle, plugging up the run, and then you got the edge coming, with adding J.C. Jackson in the secondary, the QBs are going to have less time to throw, and that's the only way you're beating Mahomes and Carr with Adams and Mr. Unlimited. I just think they have the best roster to match up with those teams because you got to get pressure on the quarterback, and I think they have the best line to get pressure on the quarterback because at the end of the day, those offenses are too stacked to be able for secondaries to be able to guard. So I think the only way whoever winning that division is who has the best defensive line and who's getting after the quarterback. Because all those offenses in that division are just ridiculous.
Also,
and then Herbert,
they have Derwin James and Asante Samuel Jr.'s. I didn't even realize that they signed or like that they were still there. So that's a solid DB. Yeah, DBs are amazing.
They're stacked. And then honestly, I am not high on the Chiefs. Like their secondary is not good. I think they might even. But I think they're getting 3 playoff teams. And it's going to be like the NFC West last year where they get both the wild cards. So it's really a toss-up between Oakland and the Chiefs. But I think it goes Chargers, Oakland, Chiefs. But they both make the playoffs 2 and 3. And then the Broncos. Sorry, Mr. Unlimited.
Completely agree. That's my order. I think Oakland's going to be very good this year. I think they love that new coach. I think Oakland's going to be pretty good. I think Derek Carr with another weapon is going to be good. I mean, to have I'm going to blank on his name. What's his name as your number 3 receiver? Renfro. Renfro as your 3 receivers, pretty damn good after putting up 1,000 yards last year. Waller's back at healthy. Jacobs is a decent running back. They have a decent defense. I think they're going to be good. I think the Chargers take that division pretty handily, but I think 2 and 3 are pretty close and both make playoffs. And I think Mr. Unlimited only wins 8 or 9 games.
Yeah. I mean, Russ, even coming from a Seahawks fan, I might sound salty. He was terrible the past couple of years.
I don't think people realize how bad he was. His stats don't show it.
He's someone where he's like a Kirk Cousins. If you look at his stats, like they're amazing. No, you watch this guy on 3rd down, you want to get goddamn eyes out. Like I would literally sit there. It's like I know what's about to happen. He's about to turn up for a sack, or just like throw a bat. Like I know someone was play calling, but also realizing some of his tendencies to hold the ball. He would never ever in his life take a check down.
Yeah,
never realized like how frustrated he is. Like, no,
he doesn't run. Doesn't run anymore.
Instead of just
he doesn't run.
Hucking it. No, just doesn't run anymore. Like no checkdowns, doesn't run. Instead, if they're playing like 2 deep, he'll just try and just chuck it up or just take a sack. It's like please no.
Christian,
or never throws over the middle. Never throws over the middle once.
Christian, how much air are you gonna punch if the Broncos win that division?
I won't care. Like good for them, because honestly, at this point, I don't care.
They won't.
I'm not mad at Russ. I don't like how he stopped about Seattle after he left. Like, oh, I had to carry that team. It's like, don't be saying that. Number one. Number 2.
Colin Cowherd, one of his 5 big predictions of the year. The 4th one was Russell Wilson will win NFL MVP.
Well, Colin Cowherd used to slob on Carson Wentz's knob, so
yeah, Colin Cowherd is objectively. He's objectively the worst.
Until he wore his hat backwards, then he hated him. As soon as he wore his hat backwards, Wentz was no longer the guy.
But I will say, no. So hear me out. He's the worst sportscaster there is, objectively. But his daughter, if she hears his podcast, slide in my DMs. I will treat you right.
She went to ASU just down the road.
Christian, most of his sports takes are just to get a reaction. Now, he has the best analogies, though, of any sportscaster.
And he has the hottest daughter of any sportscaster.
Oh,
so okay.
All right. NFC North. Bears, Lions, Packers, Vikings. I'll start this one.
Poverty.
Bad division. I think the Vikings are going to win the division this year. I think it's Vikings, Packers. I think Lions, Bears.
I have no objection to that. That's exactly my list.
No objection, man. I got none. This is such a poverty. It's such a poverty division. It's actually embarrassing.
I think the Vikings will be okay. I think the Vikings might win 11 games. I think Mike Zimmer was a terrible, terrible coach. They lost so many games the last years in the last 3 minutes.
Yes, I hated Mike Zimmer. They had a good roster.
I think they win 11 games. I think they're going to be fine. Green Bay without Devontae, I don't think is going to be very good. The Lions will probably be better this year. I like the Lions. I like Amon-Ra St. Brown. And I like that rookie they have. Williams, that receiver that when he plays,
Jameson.
that comes off the pup list.
They're
pretty good.
They're a feel good team. I like them. Like good for them. They're a feel good team.
I think they
but
can
they're
win
not-
6 games, 7 games, maybe. And I think the Bears might be one of the worst teams in the NFL. I think they're terrible.
With Justin Fields, I'm not sold on them. And also, Bears are anemic to having a good quarterback. Like they are allergic to having a good quarterback.
Yes.
Never had a 4,000-yard pass in their history. Still, in 2022, not a single 4,000-yard pass.
That's disgusting.
Bears dumpster, absolute dumpster fire.
And they hired.
Sorry.
They hired another defensive coach.
Their defense is the only thing that's been decent for them the last 5 years.
They are the stupidest franchise.
Yes, they're terribly
Literally poverty
with a terrible stadium as well.
poverty.
The LeMickey division, NFC East, probably one of the worst divisions.
That is the LeMickey division.
Yes, the LeMickey division.
That's the most bubble division there is.
This division is a joke. It's either 1 and 2 is either Cowboys, Eagles, or Eagles, Cowboys. I'll go Eagles, Cowboys, then they have more upside. And then probably Commanders, Giants. I think Commanders get close to 500. I think the Eagles probably win 10 or 11 games. I think Dallas probably wins 10 games, and I think Giants probably win 2 games.
Giants need new ownership again. It's done.
I'm switching 2 and 3. I think Dallas goes third.
Dallas goes third.
And I think the Commanders go second.
The Commanders with that LeMickey schedule they have, yes.
Absolutely.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
That is a Disney schedule. I mean, look at the Cowboys schedule. I know it cannot be worse than what the Commanders have.
Yeah,
and it's going to be they're going to be as fraudulent as the Suns. They're going to be as fraudulent as
they might. Yeah, if they get to the wild card, they'll lose right away.
So. Watch them get 12 wins and then literally get demolished, 24 to 7.
I could see it. NFC South, Falcons, Panthers, Saints, Bucks. To me, this one's pretty easy. To me, it's Bucks, Saints, Panthers, Falcons.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the weirdest thing about thinking about that division is it's if any of those teams play each other, I don't want to watch that game. I have no interest in watching Baker Mayfield versus Mariota.
No.
Or maybe I would like watching Saints versus Bucks. That's probably it.
I don't care, man. I don't give a fuck. It's gonna be so bad.
If McCaffrey stays healthy, maybe the Panthers are okay.
That division is so not enticing. It's not we gotta watch. No.
No, it's not.
Got Brady and Jameis though. Those are 2 guys that are fun to watch.
And Brady's just and Jameis is probably the second best quarterback in that division, and Brady's just 8 tiers still better.
Yes. Last but not least, or maybe least, NFC West. I feel like this one's pretty easy. Rams, Cards, 49ers, Seahawks.
You have it in the same order I would, but switch second and third. So I would say Rams, 49ers, Cards.
You think Trey Lance is going to lead in the second in the division?
This all hinges on him, but I'm so low on Kyler that yes.
I am.
I'm
way higher on Kyler than I am on Trey Lance.
Trey Lance has looked and sounded terrible, but
Cardinals were what, 5-0, 6-0 last year?
8-0.
8-0.
Yeah, and then you saw that ended. And then if you saw in the playoffs how the fuck that ended. Yeah.
Right, but we're not talking playoffs. We're talking who's finishing where. I think Kyler Murray, first half of the season, is probably one of the better quarterbacks just because for some reason he goes off every year.
First half of the season, and then they felt that they're like Russ. They'll go off first half of the season.
What was their record? They ended up winning 12 games last year, 13 games?
No, not 12.
Did they really implode that badly in the second half?
Yes.
They only won 11?
Because they were talking about firing Cliff Kingsbury.
Well, he's a bad coach. They should have fired.
They were 11-6.
That's pretty tough after being
8-0. They went 3-6 to close out the season.
I think Murray did get hurt.
Russell Westbrook. That's no excuse.
I think it's more of a testament. I just think that Trey Lance is a fucking terrible quarterback. I think that's more of I think the 49ers might win 6 games. I think the Seahawks might win 4 games. So loud card.
I think the thing is Seahawks, I think honestly might win 5-6.
I don't think the Seahawks win more than 5. They might 5-6. Schedule's decent. I'm not high on them.
well, I think with the running game and receivers, like there's talent. It's just a quarterback. It's just so mid. Especially if 49ers drop Jimmy G, NFC West is about to be annoyed because they're not going to be good, but they're going to fuck up some of the rankings at the end of the year.
Can't ask me on this division. Rams won. Don't care for the rest.
Fair enough. Who finishes last?
Seahawks. That's
That's
easy.
There
That's
you
not
go.
that's not even a debate.
There you go.
Easily.
There you go. All right. There's the NFL, fantasy, divisions, all that. Boys, anything else?
No, just keep your eye on the Commanders and their Mickey schedule.
Yeah. I see a lot of 7-win predictions. I don't think people realize how bad their schedule is.
They're just saying that, not actually taking into account everything. No, it's 17 games now, so 18-week season. They're gonna be like, they got 10 wins. Wow. No, it's not.
It'll be a fraud.
This is absolute fraudulent.
Betting wise, they could be a team to bet on this year. They may have some bad line, like some low lines. So
that is true. Keep an eye on that. People are calling wow. The guy that won defensive rookie of the year, why is it slipping my mind? Yeah, Chase Young. They're calling him fraudulent and a bust. So I like
Chase Young. I like Chase Young.
It's his third year. He was hurt.
Yeah, he'll be fine. He's fine. Other than that, I think that's it. Christian, thanks for joining. Christian, you can join at any time. We can maybe have to make this thing a 4-person thing because
busy. I'm very busy. I have a lot going on.
No, you're not.
No, you're not.
I'm unemployed. We have a lot going on out here, man.
No, you're not.
Drinking water. Busy. Hey, shout out y'all. Thanks for having me on. Appreciate
of course.
It so much. Shout out you, Ben, potentially my future roommate, and Sterling going back to his mom's house. But we're about to change spots real quick.
No, it was great.
Thanks for watching.
I think we'll try and record more on Thursdays. You get them out Fridays. This was just kind of last minute. We want to do this again, so we'll get it out. Thank you everyone for watching, and we'll see you again next week. How do I stop recording this thing?